Hi friends, it's Julie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a check-in video for you guys. So in these I let you know the books that I've read over the last 2 weeks, the books that I'm currently reading, and the books that I plan on picking up very soon. And I'm sorry if you can hear thunder in the background of this video. You're probably going to hear it because there's a pretty big storm that just decided to hit. But I'm just happy that we're getting some rain. It has been so hot here. But anyway, the last 2 weeks have actually been really good for me reading wise. I think they're the best that I've had all year. I managed to finish 4 books in these 2 weeks, which is pretty crazy to me, but you know, a lot of them, some of them were kind of short, so I kind of understand why I was able to read 4 books, but still, I enjoyed all of them that I read so much, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about them. And the first book I finished was Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan and McGuire, and I was a little bit nervous when I picked up this book because this is a pretty polarizing one. Like, people either really love it or they really hate it. And I'm happy to say that I'm one of those people that absolutely loved this book. Like, this is my kind of book. It's a little bit weird, it's a little dark, it has fantasy elements to it, has a murder mystery in it. I mean, it has everything that I love in a book, and it was so well written. I could not get enough of this, and as soon as I finished it, I went and bought myself a copy because I checked it out from the library, and I went ahead and bought the sequel. But let me tell you a little bit about it, just in case you don't know. I mean, this has been a pretty popular book over the last year, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. So this follows kids who have went into some sort of portal to another world, like kind of like how Alice went into Wonderland or Dorothy went into Oz, like that type of thing. So these kids have went into this portal to this other world, and now they've come back, and they're having a really hard time, you know, getting back into their life. They're having a really hard time kind of assimilating back into our world. And the parents are having a hard time as well. You know, they want their old child back. They want the child that was there before they left. And that's really not happening because these kids have just changed so much. So the parents have decided to send them to this like boarding school. And at this school, they're meeting other kids that are like them, that have went to other worlds, and the people there that are running it are trying to help them kind of come to terms with everything that has happened, and they're just trying to help them out a little bit. And that's really the story in this book, and we just get to follow these kids. And I say kids, but this is like an adult's book. I mean, the way it's written and everything, but we are dealing with, you know, kids all the way up into like their teenage years. And there's like a little bit of a murder mystery in here, which is pretty fun. And I know that that caught a lot of people off guard, but I knew that there was one in here before I picked this book up, so I really wasn't surprised. But I just thought that the writing was so good. I wanted so much more of these characters. That's like my only criticism of it, is that I wanted it more. I wanted it to be longer. It is a pretty short book, but I just can't wait to pick up the next one. I was so surprised that she could put so much of a story into such a little book. It's so surprising. Like, that just shows like how great of a writer she is. And I definitely want to check out some of her other books. I know that she has other adult work as well. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. And then the second book I finished was Pray for Silence by Linda Castillo. This is the second book in the Kate Burkholder series, and I finally finished it, and I loved it just like I knew I was going to. Like, guys, I'm so in love with this series right now. This is the type of series that I was wanting out of the Dublin Murder Squad by Tana French. Like, I wanted to love that series like I'm loving this one. This one just works so much more for me. I mean, Tana French's writing is definitely like a higher quality than Linda Castillo's, but Linda Castillo's mysteries are so well written. They're not predictable, and I just absolutely love them. And in this book, the mystery is there's this Amish family that's like brutally murdered. I mean, really brutally murdered. And I think there's like 7 of them ranging in ages from like a toddler to the parents. And while they're trying to figure out, you know, what happened to this family, they discovered that one of the daughters was hiding a lot of secrets. And the mystery in this was not predictable, like, at all. I mean, then again, a lot of stuff isn't revealed until the end, but still, I had no idea who the killer was. I did have a few issues with like their thought process, like the detective, so they're trying to figure out this mystery. I had a few little issues with it, but I still really enjoyed it. I'm loving Kate as a character. I'm loving getting to know her more, and she has this relationship with another cop, which is written really well. Like, it's very realistically written, and it doesn't it's just one of those things that's like on the back burner. I mean, the mystery and everything is like on the forefront in this series, but I like having just like a little bit of a romance. I'm so happy that Rachel recommended these books on her channel, because this has become definitely a favorite series of mine, and I can't wait to pick up the next book. And then the third book I finished was The Silence by Tim Lebbon, and I buddy read this book with April from Getting Hooga with It, and I loved buddy reading this book with her. But this was such a fun, like fast-paced, I guess I'll call it like an apocalyptic novel, I guess. And I won't spoil anything for you, but I'll kind of just tell you a little bit about the story. So at the very beginning of this book, there are these scientists and these researchers that have discovered this like underground like cavern or like cave that no one has ever discovered before. It's been completely shut off from the rest of the world, and it has its own ecosystems and all these things. Well, while they're down there, they let out this thing, and then it just starts going city by city and wreaking havoc on all of Europe. It destroys everything in its path, and it hunts by sound. So anything that makes noise, it will destroy. And our main character, well, one of our main characters is this young girl, and she is deaf. So she is used to living like in silence, but now the rest of the world, if they want to survive, has to start living this way too. And part of the story is told from her perspective, and part of the story is told from her father's perspective, you know, and he's just trying to do everything he can to save his family. We just kind of just follow them on their journey, and I just really enjoy this. I was sucked in it from the very beginning. It's such a page turner. I've been reading a lot of books like that lately, which is always nice. I mean, the writing isn't spectacular, but it was still good. I mean, obviously, because I was really into the story, but I had so many questions left unanswered by the end of this book. So that was like a little bit frustrating, because I just wanted more of it. Maybe he'll write a sequel. That would be nice. I would love for him to write a sequel to this book. I would definitely read it, because, you know, it just kind of leaves things pretty open, and I just had so many more questions. And I will say, like, it might sound really scary, like the book, but it's not like a horror novel. Like, it's not really, I mean, there are a few kind of graphic parts in it, but nothing that I don't think people can really handle. I mean, some of it's a little bit, I mean, it is a little bit kind of scary in parts, I guess, because I think of it as, this doesn't seem so unrealistic. Like, I think about the ocean. This is things that I think about. Like, I don't really like to be out in open water, and I think about the ocean because it's so far down, and there is so much stuff in there, like creatures and stuff in there, that we have no idea. We have no idea what's in there. And so this doesn't seem so far-fetched for me. Like, I imagine there could be like some sort of cave or something that's never been discovered before, and there could be things in there that we've never seen. So it's not super far-fetched, but it isn't over-the-top scary, so don't be hesitant to pick it up just because of that. Like, I wouldn't classify this book as a horror novel, but it was definitely pretty fun. And then the final book I read was The Persian Pickle Club by Sandra. This was our book club pick for the month of July, and this is one of those like stereotypical book club picks. We don't usually ever read books like this, but I actually really enjoyed it. The topic this month was books set in your home state, and this book takes place in this little country town in Kansas, and it follows these ladies that are part of this group called the Persian Pickle Club, and they meet once a week to quilt and kind of gossip. And one day, a dead body is found buried on one of the ladies' property. And one of the new members in this group, Rita, is a writer, and she's trying to like get her big break, and she decides that she's going to try and figure out, you know, this murder mystery. And so there is that part of this book, but really this book is about female friendships and, you know, what women do for each other and how we kind of like band together. You know, when you find a really good group of friends, there isn't really anything that you wouldn't do for each other. You know, women just come together. We just come together and we try and help people, and that's really what this book is about. And I ended up really enjoying it, so much more than I thought I was going to. So those are all the books that I've read, and right now I'm currently reading Fever Dream by Samantha Schweblin. I just randomly picked this book up from the library. It's very short, and the pages are just like absolutely tiny. But I can't really tell you much about this book because honestly, I don't really know what the hell is going on. I just started it, and if you've read this book, then you probably know what I'm talking about. I don't even know how to tell you what's going on in this book, so I will let you know what I think about it once I finish it. And then a book that I plan on starting tonight is Mad Ship by Robin Hobb. Katie and I are finally ready to read this book. I've talked about this enough on my channel already, but yeah, I can't wait to read this one. And then another book that I've talked about more than once is one that I'm going to be starting next week because I'm buddy reading this with Michael from Bitten by Radioactive Book, and that is The Obelisk 8 by N.K. Jemisin. I can't wait to read this because the final book, The Stone Sky, I believe is what it's called, comes out next month. And so I'll have just finished this one and then I can pick up the third and final book. And then two other books that I plan on picking up very soon along with these other ones are Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Seanan McGuire. This is the second book in the Wayward Children series, and I cannot wait to start this book. I just want more of these characters in this world. And I believe that this is actually a prequel to the first book, and this follows two characters that we met in Every Heart or Doorway, Jack and Jill, and this is them like in their world, which is a very dark world. And I can't wait to learn more about those characters. And then the second book is Breaking Silence by Linda Castillo. This is the third book in the Kate Burkholder series, and like I said, this becomes such a favorite series of mine, and I can't wait to read this one. But those are all of the books that I've read and what I'm currently reading. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them. But I think that's it for the day, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again very soon. Happy reading. Bye.